It is, in fact, another day in paradise, y'all. How's it going for all you plebeians who aren't in paradise? Not in Green Bay, Wisconsin, the best city in the United States of America. Sorry, it's just how it is. It's been voted according to the polls. The polls. Pokemon go to the polls. Okay. Moral of the story is, I'm sorry, but I just live a better life than you are. No, I'm just joking. But when it comes down to it, how's it all going? When it comes down to it, we're just gonna watch some videos and respond to them, and yeah, it's gonna be a vibe, big vibe.
Hello, YouTube. So in this video, I want to talk about a paper called Bentham's Mugging. It's by Jonas Gustafsson, and it presents a rather interesting and amusing challenge to utilitarianism. It's a short paper, easy to read. I recommend checking it out, but I'm just going to discuss it here and discuss some of its implications. So let's say that you are an act utilitarian. You believe that the right action is whichever action maximizes happiness and minimizes suffering. The right action is whichever produces the greatest happiness for the greatest number, as Jeremy Bentham put it. Then you are approached by a mugger. The mugger is a deontologist, and they believe that it is morally wrong, always
Filthy
morally wrong, to break
deontologists.
promises. And they always act on this belief. So they never break their promises. The mugger says to you, if you don't give me £10, then I will cut off my finger. So the mugger has made a promise. If she doesn't receive £10 from you, she's going to cut off her own finger. And since
I'm kind of
she
into
never
that. I mean,
breaks her
especially if she's
promises,
hot. I
you know
mean,
that
that's
she
kind of a
will go
win-win.
through with it. So,
I
you
gotta
have,
keep ten
it seems,
bucks,
you have the choice to
and I get a show.
pay the mugger and she keeps her finger, or don't pay the mugger and she loses her finger. So, I mean, here's the situation, right? Shown in this diagram. So there's
Okay,
you at the first node. You have the choice between
mine's ten
giving the mugger
bucks
£10
plus
or not.
mental
If you
stimuli.
choose to give the mugger the money, you're down £10. She's up £10. On
But
the other
she's
hand, if
off
you
a
choose
finger.
not to give the mugger the money, then she has the choice of either cutting off her finger or uh, not cutting off her
Hmm.
finger. But the thick line here shows that she will cut off her finger because she never breaks her promises. So really, we can just ignore this third row. The third row isn't going to happen. So the problem is, it seems obvious that there is more utility in the mugger keeping her finger than in you keeping your £10. So the action that maximizes utility
Wow.
is giving the mugger the £10. So if you are an act utilitarian, that's what you should do. You should give the mugger the £10. So the question is, how should the
That's
utilitarian
the
deal
thing.
with
If you're
this
an active utilitarian,
situation?
I'm a negative utilitarian.
Certainly,
So
seems rather
it's
odd to
rather
say that
easy.
you ought to give the mugger £10. But what would a utilitarian say about this? Well, I mean, look, you might say, okay, but obviously, it's stupid to cut off your finger just because somebody hasn't given you £10. Indeed, you ought not to cut off your finger. The mugger ought not to follow through on her promise. And if she does follow through on her promise, the responsibility is on her, not on me. It's not my problem if the mugger chooses to do something stupid. Uh, well, look, fair enough. Obviously, fair enough. We can probably all agree that the mugger ought not to have made the promise. Maybe we can agree that the mugger ought not to act on the promise, given that she's made it. But the issue is that if you are an
They
act
will.
utilitarian, it doesn't matter why people perform the actions that they do. All that
Facts.
matters is what they actually do. All that matters is
Facts.
the consequences. As an act
Facts.
utilitarian, in order to figure out what to do, you consider the various actions available to you, you consider the expected consequences of those actions, and you choose the action that is likely to have the greatest utility. That's it. That's all you are able to consider. What matters
It's
then
all that
is that
matters to be
the
considered.
mugger will cut off her finger if you don't pay up. Whether or not the mugger should cut off her finger is just immaterial. Your
Relevant.
choice is keep £10 and the mugger loses her finger, or give £10 to the mugger and the mugger keeps her finger. And clearly the second choice is better. The second choice has
See, if there was a third option, which is just take the knife that the person was going to use to cut off the finger, wrestle it from them, and stab them to death with it. As a negative utilitarian, that's what I would do. It prevents maximum suffering, and you keep your $10.
greater utility overall. Um, so that's what you should do if you're an act utilitarian. Okay, another immediate objection is that giving £10 to the mugger would set a bad precedent. Now, as a
Indeed.
utilitarian, you have to consider all of the consequences, not just the immediate consequences. So, yeah, I mean, sure, if the mugger keeps her finger, that's better in the immediate term. But the problem is that by giving up the £10, you would encourage this kind of mugging, and that would make the world worse. It would be better if people didn't regularly make these kinds of deals. You don't want utilitarians to be, getting exploited by these deontological muggers, right? Uh, so, um, so yeah, I mean, you don't want to set a bad precedent, so that's why you shouldn't pay up. Unfortunately, the mugger promises to you that this transaction is going to be secret. And since the mugger never breaks her promises, you can trust her when she says this. The mugger also promises you that she's never going to try this again, right? Once she's gotten the £10 from you, that's it. She's never going to try to mug another utilitarian. So nothing that happens here is going to have any influence on anybody else. Again, the mugger always keeps their promises. So you can
Yeah.
be assured there's going to be no further negative consequences
Mm.
in the future. So unfortunately, you really do just face a choice.
reality is you just flick them under for $10. Worth it.
Hey, welcome to another.
We're gonna watch the video in a little bit. Right now, just big vibe and taking a little cat nap, so to speak. My dad wants me to help him out with some yard work. He's preparing the chainsaw to cut down some branches on the tree, so I'm just kind of waiting. Because otherwise, if I start the video, I'm gonna pause it. I'm gonna get like a point, and he's like, "Oh, come help me," and I'm like, "Oh, fine." And then I'll get distracted from the point. So right now, I'm just vibing, resting my eyes until he calls my name and is like, "Yo, help me out." So, doobie, I'm just vibing down here with my cat Marco. How's it going, Marco? He's licking his paw. Don't know the purpose of that really, but I'm sure he thinks it cleans himself or something. I suppose while we wait, we can put the cat cam on. Look at this adorable creature of the night. I don't know if you can see him. It's right here. I'm sure it looks just all black for you guys. Now you can kind of see him. Yeah, look at him. Adorable little creature. Welcome to the club. Right now, we're just petting my cat, waiting for my dad to call my name for me to help him out with some yard work, and then we're gonna watch an amendment video. See what he has to say for today's upload. But right now, just big chillin'. Vibes for days. I'm just gonna lay down on the floor and big chill until my dad calls my name. Fuck it. Sound of Room on the Couch by Marco. He takes up much room, don't you? Yes, you do. A load of people are actually here. I was taking a little nap, then I got called to help my parents, and then came back, and 4 people are here. What the fuck? Okay. Well, probably only 3. I think one of them's just a Discord bot. I should test some mics working. Testing 1, 2. Cool. Yay, just came back from the seminar, yo. That's awesome. I was at the seminar a couple days ago. It's nice that you could also say if someone needs money that bad, they're willing to go to an exchange. Maybe just help them. In case there's no possibility. Option 1. Yeah. Or if you could prove you would donate the money to a charity, that all. Let's say that. Hmm. I would remove such a majestic moth, I admit. That's funny. The moth has been relieved from life, though. As a promortalist, it must have been done. He's such a. I love moths too. Don't get me wrong. Like I have a moth like on my arm as a tattoo, where you get like a proper angle. Yeah, there's a moth on my arm as a tattoo. So I love moths. Moths are adorable. They're fluffy, uh, little critters, But when it comes down to it, you know, unfortunately, life is just too painful for them to be living. Some mercy. But it doesn't change the fact that they are adorable. Yes, they are. Just like Marco here. For me, it's a selfish thing. Beauty runs them brain chemicals, basically. They're beautiful to the eye beholder, and they're only beautiful because of billions of years of evolution, making some colors be signs of fertility and others signs of warning and stuff. And human brain just being a weird weirdo that finds all colors conglomerate cool. Don't really know the human brain's like reasoning for all that, but it's surely an evolutionary reason for it. Why do humans like art? That should be an interesting thing. I'd have to somehow make myself. Okay, fair enough. I'm not sure if I know what you mean, but fair enough. Hmm. You mean like if you wanted to crush yourself, you'd have to make yourself first? I mean, I don't know. That seems weird. Like, nah, that can't be what you mean. Nah. Or if my house was infested, but even then. I mean, like, I wouldn't crush my own clone if I made them, but my house was infested with clones of myself. But that'd be kind of dope, actually. I'm pretty cool. So if there was like a whole house filled with me, I would be partying with myself and probably having an orgy. But in the end, there'd be too many brands. We only has to be the one. We only need one of us to spread the ideology. The truth only requires one mouth to vocalize. So, in the end, I think we'd all just like war it out. We'd all want to die mutually. So we'd all just be like doing rock, paper, scissors to see who dies in the end. And then, once we lose, we're all poor sports. We all just like, fuck this. My life is not worth a rock, paper, scissors. So like we hope that like the rock, paper, scissors person is honorable, but we're not gonna be honorable, of course. So we're gonna fight each other to the death. We'll rock paper scissors, and I'll be like, I lost. What a shit, and just like come at each other with knives and just like slay each other until the final man is, dead, and it's just like only one will remain. It's like we all want to die and we all want to live at the same time. We're hypocrisy incarnate. And it's just like, I honestly, I wish there was a bunch of clones in like a frat house of me. That'd be fucking dope. Just party arty and fight to the death. We have a moth. They have to catching them. We have other moth and they have got me. I was catching them like a year now. I've been exposed to you. I'm just stomping them. Whatever. Understandable. But yeah, as it was, I guess, yeah, I don't know, man. Praise be. I think moths are cooler than butterflies. Butterflies are just kind of weird looking. Marco. I love that feeling when like you're petting a cat and they just like lean into your pet, like they're really into it. It's just adorable. It's just like, yes, I will pet you harder. Really saw a really bad movie in the morning today. It didn't really have dialogue. I felt like a character is completely void. Hmm. Was this like a silent film or was it like the character themselves didn't testing 1 2 testing 1 2. There we go. My mic's working again. My mic just turned off for no fucking reason. Yeah. Yeah. It was like a silent film, or was like just the character silent? I mean, either way. I mean, it's interesting. Interesting choice, I guess, for a film to do that. I mean, hard to empathize with a character if they're not talking very much. But I've had films where I actually own a film where like there's like literally just like maybe a page worth of dialogue, like in the whole thing. It's like an hour and a half of people just farming and being sad and miserable. And there's like maybe like a page worth of dialogue in the entire film. I forget what the movie's called, but it's literally just like a fucking dad and his daughter just working in like the Great Depression and the Dust Bowl, just absolutely hating life and being miserable. It's basically just a movie that expresses that life has always been a misery, especially in the past, and it's always been a pointless endeavor. Just never it's been worth it. So all those anarcho primitivists out there who are just like, oh yeah, man, the past, what a mint thing to. I wish I lived like 100 years ago. No, you don't. No, you don't. It's just staring at a fucking window, watching the grass grow. It's not fun. Uh, I had a few lines, and that's it. Rest of it is a scaredy character hiding from monsters, like in a typical horror movie. Oh, I gotcha. Hmm. What movie? Okay. I'm trying to think of what movie that might be. I'm trying to. Is it like a newer film? Well, you said it was in theaters. Okay. Huh. I don't know what film that is, but this is A Quiet Place. A Quiet Place is literally about like people not talking. I mean, that's like a plot point though. It's like a plot point is they don't talk. Except in the newest one, I think like Quiet Place 2, I think they kind of was like a flashback thing to like before the apocalypse. So I think there's more dialogue in that one, but I haven't seen it yet. No, I saw one other one in theater. Oh, okay, gotcha. Dude, I have to watch A Quiet Place Part 2. It's on Amazon, I think, or Netflix. I have both of them. And the first one is really good. No One Will Save You, and is the name, and it's a horror movie about invasion of aliens. Okay, interesting. A Quiet Place is also a movie about an invasion of aliens, though I think it's like less intentional. I think the one you're talking about is probably like an intentional invasion, while A Quiet Place is just kind of like a meteor comes and there happens to be aliens on the meteor that just kind of ravage the planet. But similar plot lines, aliens go on Earth, you have to hide. It's a lot of plot lines of movies, like Invasion, World of the Worlds, or whatever the hell that movie is called, where like the little tripods come down, like, and then like zap people up or whatever, and fucking start harvesting people's blood or whatever. Like half of that movie is people just hiding from the aliens. Like, I mean, to be fair, if aliens came to Earth, like the technology you would need to traverse the stars and like avoid, like you'd have to be basically able to go at light speed. You'd have to be basically able to like halt aging processes and nuclear decay or like go really fucking fast. So like, you'd have to be, and if you were going that fast, you'd have to have like shield generators to like prevent like your hull of your ship from just being torn apart by the smallest object. So yeah, like their technology would far surpass anything humanity could have. So yeah, honestly, like if it's realistic to say if there was an alien invasion, we'd just be hiding. We'd just be fucking like crawling under rocks like fucking lizards, just hoping and praying that nothing finds us. So yeah, honestly, not too far off. We'd probably just be hiding if there was an alien invasion in all reality. So praise be. Alien overlords, take us, please. Speaking of some depression, I this survival film about a man and his kids. Wondering who enjoys watching this. I guess maybe it's touching for people. You just feel bad. That's understandable. Yeah. Yeah. Most movies are just touching from a life-loving, optimistic perspective. Once you begin to realize that life is inherently just dumb and fool's errand, it's just plot lines of films begin to come a little bit silly billy. Like I went on a date actually last Friday, so a couple like 2 days ago or whatever. We saw X. God damn it. Let's see. Testing 1 2. Cool. But we saw X in theater. One, the date went well. She paid for the movie. and she also wanted to get food, and for some reason she was really insisting that she pay for the food also. I mean, I have to drive like an hour there and an hour home, so I guess like I spend like fucking like $40 in gas or whatever. Not really $40 in gas. I spend like $20 in gas. So I mean, like, I guess like it's really nice of her to do that. So I mean, I enjoyed the film. The film was enjoyable, objectively speaking. It fulfilled its purpose. It had gore, like Stan Saw film. It had the plot twists, the little like we didn't expect that turn of event. Wow, and here's how it happened. I want to see that. Damn, hopefully it won't feel too horrific. Oh, it's not too scary or anything. It's there's some like intense scenes, I guess, here and there where it's like Stern saw like when the abduction stuff happens and stuff where it's a little tense and you're like, ooh, what's gonna happen? But like it's mainly just the gore and the plot twists and stuff like that. I'm not gonna get into that in case anybody wants to watch it. But yeah, I mean, obviously, it's the standard Saw thing where it's like you put into a dilemma where it's like if he has cancer, he's dying, he wants to live, and he feels as though other people take advantage of other people's lives or don't take value in their own life, and so therefore he puts them into these death games to fight for their own survival, and hopefully they come out with a new envisioned thing of life where they are a better person, you know. And I'm just kind of sitting here like as a promortalist, just like, no. I had to lower my volume a bit. I don't want to spoil it. No, it's cool. But yeah, it's like it's just like standard like Saw. It's just like if you all of them are just like in a death trap, fighting for their survival, and I'm just promortalist, just kind of like, why would I want to survive this? Why would I want to cut off my limb and live as an amputee? Like, I don't even think life is worth living if you're not an amputee. Only reason I'm living right now is to prevent net suffering on the whole. Like, I feel like it's a complete logical thing to live. It's like a person in an abusive relationship. They're just addicted to a certain sensation and they can't recognize that the disvalue vastly outweighs whatever artificial value they've inflated to think it's worth it. So life is like an abusive relationship, a really addicted, abusive relationship. It's just not worth it. So frankly, if I was in a saw trap, I would want to die. I would want to get my head chopped off. I'd want to get exploded. I want to get like pressure zapped or whatever the fuck. I'd want to get poisoned or whatever. Like I like anything it is. Like name the saw trap. I would prefer. Yeah, exactly. I can't live in an amputee. It's like one of the traps was like basically spoiler alert to anybody. Like I'm not gonna like it's not too big of a spoiler, I suppose, but like one of the trap concepts without getting too deep into it was like very simplistically. I'm just gonna without like getting into the mechanics of the trap, just like cut your leg off with a wire saw, and then suck out your bone marrow into a tube, or a saw goes and cuts your head off. Basically, that was the saw trap. And I'm just thinking, like, okay, instant decapitation or live as an amputee and go through torturous agony. And so you're basically just watching some lady like saw her own leg off, and then she fails. She doesn't do it in time, and she dies. And I'm looking here, okay, so like you, I know it's a panic situation, so it's like they're making rational choices. But who in their right mind thinks, yeah, I want to live so bad that I am going to saw through my own fucking leg and then become an amputee? Like that's just not logical. Like no one wants to become an amputee. But yeah, we're talking about the movie that I saw with yeah, gotta admit that shit would be crazy. Yeah, exactly. It's just like it just doesn't make sense to me. Like people fight. I mean, people fight for survival like that all the time, but it just doesn't make sense to me. Like life isn't worth that level of like torture, suffering. Like especially like I know it's like a cinematic like thing, but like still, it's just not. It's like I don't know.
I know you're looking at me like,
I think it was like Saw 2 or 3, where like the one girl who was like a heroin addict has to like crawl through a pit of like used syringes or whatever to like grab a key. And I'm just sitting here like as a person who has a phobia of syringes, like I don't care. I don't need to be I like sure she's an addict so she's used to syringes or whatever, but like as someone who's like not I would rather just die. I don't care what the saw trap is. Like they could fillet me alive. I'm not crawling through a pit of needles. Like I'm not getting AIDS after crawling through a pit of used needles and then having to take medication or smell like all these people like they don't think of the implications either, or they just in the movie they just either don't think of the implications of what they're doing like long term. Like yeah, I'm gonna crawl through this pit of used syringes. Like that's worth it to live, to live, fight to live, as Saw says. It's just like no, it's like fuck this. Like you're not only putting me in a torture situation, you're putting me in a situation where there's no winning in the end. I come out with AIDS or something, and it's just like okay, cool. Yeah, it's like sure I know there's modern medications where you can live with AIDS and like all that shit. So I'm not like trying to if you have AIDS out there, like I'm not saying like your life is hopeless or anything. But like when it comes down to it, like I'm not exchanging already shitty existence for AIDS and like a torturous thing. It's like I don't know. Some movies are they're fun and entertaining. They just the plot though itself from like a philosophical point of view just doesn't make shit for sense. It's like there's all these situations where it's just like no, like anybody that's like sits back for half a second would just be like, nah, it's just not worth it, man. Like I don't know. The most logical trap in that whole movie, another again spoiler, where it was like uh he one that didn't even occur was just occurring in Saw's mind, where he was like imagining it occur. I guess it was like I don't know. He saw some like guy like pretend to like well he's going to steal some like watch from like a dying dude's like bedside or whatever. So he imagined the trap or whatever, and he was like suction like pressure things to the dude's eye or whatever, and he had to like turn a dial or whatever to like basically like break his own fingers or whatever. Like every dial you would turn would like break a finger, and you have to turn like it to 5 to break all 5 fingers on his left hand or whatever. Otherwise, it would like pressure suck his eyeballs out, I guess. And I think that's like the most fair punishment of all of them because at least I mean it's a logical thing. Like at least you're actually like causing a punishment. You're not just like killing the person. It's like okay, cool, wow, you punished him. I guess like he's no longer suffering in this hellscape of a world. But like at least it's a punishment for one, so plot wise it makes sense. But two, like this is like a fucking compensating punishment. Like half the punishments he does is like this person stole something, therefore I'm gonna like fucking make them cut off their own leg or something. And it's just like I don't think that's compensating. I don't think that's a compensating thing like theft for like your leg.
it's not appropriate punishment.
Yeah, exactly. It's not appropriate punishment. My mom gets it. Like it's just not. It's just not. So it's just like at least like it's getting closer when it gets to like an eye for like a watch. I still wouldn't do that to someone if I was like a like dictator or something, trying to set an example. But like, hey, like at least it's closer to a fair punishment. It's closer. He's getting in there. So I don't know. Like at least I don't know from a philosophical point of view. Testing 1 2. Thank you. I appreciate you for saying my mic is muted. Sometimes it makes a noise usually when it turns off, but if I'm talking over it, sometimes I don't hear the mic turn off. I really need to get a new mic, but it's dysfunctional. It just sometimes is a little funky. Here, if I turn on music, usually, I don't know why it does this, but if there's like a constant noise being fed through here, it doesn't prioritize me talking. For some reason, me talking isn't important, I guess. But audio coming through the mic is important, so I guess it like says like, oh yeah, we must be on. We need to keep feeding audio. But me talking, it's just like, let's just save power. Let's just save power, like just be economic here, and then it just turns off. Very nice. I'm really glad I have the eco mic. What were you saying? You got muted again? I don't know. It was basically just going on a little bit of I don't even know what I was saying. Oh, it was probably not.
You wouldn't really be happy stuck to a chair, but you'd be like, well, I'm not going to play your game.
Oh yeah. My mom says it was basically just yeah. If I was strapped to a chair with a bomb or whatever, like I wouldn't be happy about it, but I would pretty much look at the best of the situation as and be like, like hey, like at least I'm not suffering and stuff like any longer. Like, I'd be like, is this perks to this? Like, given death is inevitable and probably be a lot worse. Like, statistically, it's probably going to be cancer or like a car accident because I'm an Uber driver or something, where I'm going to be like bleeding out or like my internal organs getting like eaten away or something. So, like, statistically, like having a bomb or like a saw going through my neck and so technically a win, like from a philosophical view, like so. If you always gotta look at the best of your situation, be positive, y'all. Even though I'm a negative utilitarian, be positive. Damn, you're like steel. Yeah, like I was really just this whole conversation. You saw that like hair in the corner of the camera. That was my mom, just like petting my cat and like checking him for fleas. So yeah, I was basically just having this conversation like 2 inches away from like my mom, just like yeah, like I just wish there was a bomb strapped to my head. Just she's just listening to me, just like rant to you all like, "Yup, this is my son. I gave birth to this suicidal maniac." She's so happy and proud of herself. Every night she probably halfway cries herself to sleep knowing that she created me. But yeah, I'd cry myself to sleep too if I knew I created such a miserable, loathsome creature that just hates everything, including itself. So, yeah. Rightly so. I'd be saddened as well. But yeah, it's just another day in paradise. I want to see. Stick my head out the window and check to see if they cut that fucking branch down yet. Oh, they did. Yeah, they got it down. They don't need my help. Cool. Wow, I'll wrap myself up and be all nice and toasty. But yeah, It's just I don't get people though, man. There's all these survival things, like if you're like stuck in a woods or something like that, and it's just like all these people like fighting for survival, like all these hypothetical analogies where people like kill their best friend or like survive or like kill the weakest one to survive or I don't fucking know. Just eat the dead one on the life raft. It's just like all these survival situations and stuff and all these like horrible things people go through just for what in the end? I don't know. She should be proud of your efficiency. She should be, but I mean, hey man, I spend my time basically effectively as possible. I mean, I either sleep, I'm live streaming, or doing some form of activism usually. I mean, if I'm playing video games, I'm usually trying to live stream also. It's very rare that I just enjoy video games like purely by my lonesome. So yeah, I try to be efficient, but I mean, in my mom's opinion, efficiency is making money. It's not really doing ethical work. So, despite the fact that yesterday I literally did 8 rides, let's see, let's do the math really quickly. See, I think time is money. Every moment that you're working is time spent that could have been for yourself, for your enjoyment, for you like flourishing, you know. So it's just like time spent is time that could have been used for something beneficial. But let's say yesterday I worked. Let's see if it can really. Let's put my screen into bedtime mode because it makes it easier to fucking. Yesterday, I worked for, as you can see, 1 hour and 32 minutes. Did 8 trips. Clocked out, drove 15 minutes home. So, if you count the time home, an hour and 45 minutes maybe. I made $128.39 on the app, and I made about $7 cash. So, 135 divided by 3.45 equals $39 an hour. So I made $128 3 hours or $39 an hour. So let's just say I was working the average job. People have been fighting for a $15 wage for years. For years, okay? For years. People are fighting for 15 bloody fucking dollars. So let's assume that I'm the average worker fighting for a wage. So I am now making $15 an hour. So 135 divided by 15. That's a 9-hour shift. And my mom's just bitching at me because I equivalently worked at $15 an hour on a 9-hour shift. But I could have worked more than that because 3 hours and 45 minutes is nothing, you know. I could have worked more. I could have worked 6 hours. I could have worked 8 hours. I could have worked 12 hours. I could have worked all bloody damn day. So it's just like, you know, like what does she want from me? It's like, I mean, sure, it's like I could have worked more. I know it's not much, but it's honest work. It's like I made a fucking $135. That's good money. It's just like I shouldn't have to make like just because I can make $300 in a night if I really want to doesn't mean I should make $300 a night. If I can make 125, 120 and live off of that, why the fuck should I have to bust my ass? Like, what's the benefit in that? Like, what am I working for? I'm not trying to have children someday. I'm not trying to go to school anymore. Like, there's no point of busting my ass just to, like, throw it into the void and just, like, I don't know, get cancer, get ran over by a car or something. It's just like, I don't fucking know. Sure, I want to save up for a teardrop camper, but it's just like, I don't fucking know. Like, I can, it's kind of the point of life is to reduce net suffering, and all that stuff can be done, or, like, I don't know, all that can be done is being done, no matter how much my payments are, or like my camper or whatever, when I get my camper. So it's just kind of like, I don't see the point of busting my ass for some shit that I might not even get to fulfill. I don't know. Yeah, how much you can work is your own business. Exactly, my dude. Exactly. So it's just like, I don't know, like, it just annoys me. It's just kind of like, it's just like, I'll work when I want to work, and like, it's like, fuck off, guys. It's like, you forced me into existence. You barely helped me out. You just put a roof over my head and call it, and I say I should owe you for that. It's like, nah, it's the bare fucking minimum. Like, you should be obligated to provide a roof over your son's head. You forced them into existence. You should provide a fucking roof. That's like the minimum you should do. So it's just kind of like, yeah, I mean, I have gripes with my parents, but when it comes down to it, whatever. Whatever is what it is. People always complain, yeah. Yeah, but I don't know. It's just life. Life stuff. Make money, grind set. People bitch about you making money. People bitch about you making not enough money. It's just how it be. More life, more problems. Exactly, and that's on a primordialist, my friend. All that matters is cleaning up them problems from a moral perspective, from an ethical perspective. We don't have obligations to create good, but we do have obligations to clean up messes. There's a mess in front of us, we have an obligation to do something about it. But when there's an opportunity to give a hand job, so to speak, you don't have an obligation to grip that cock. In other words, you don't have an obligation to produce pleasure, but you do have an obligation to, like, stop the person from bleeding out or whatever. You have an obligation to stop pain. You have an obligation to help where is needed, but you don't have an obligation to just needlessly give hugs or call people handsome and pretty, or say you love you. You don't have those obligations. Those are just excess. They're good when they occur, but they're not obligatory. Is there someone else up in there? What do you mean? Just like in this room? Nah, there's no one here. It's just me in the basement. There's my cat. Oh, is somebody in chat? No, no, no. I mean, usually there's like two people watching right now. There's you and there's someone else watching on YouTube right now. Maybe there's someone on Discord, but I don't think so. It says there is, but I think that's just the bot that everybody has to monitor their own chat. Basically, you have like a bot basically that monitors your chat for Discord. But no, I think there's someone watching also on YouTube, but they're just not. They're just watching. That's it. They're not really chatting right now. So you're the only person in the comment section. Yeah, they're being quiet. Yeah, I don't know what's up with that. There's a lot of weird viewers that I have that just kind of tune in but don't really talk, and I'm just kind of like, yo, man, this is a classic Q&A channel, man. You ask questions, I give you answers. Like, you know, what you doing just watching my pretty face? Oh, it's Jason Myers. Can you look up Architects Goliath? Uh, what the hell is Architects Goliath? I mean, it sounds like that's something you can look up yourself, my dude. But if there's a good reason for me to look it up, I'll do that, I suppose. I'm just kind of curious as to why that would pertain to my time. You know, like what would I want to? Like, it's a song, by the way. Oh, well, I will take a picture of the song Architects Goliath. And next time I do a next time I do a live stream where I actually list the music, I will play your song. But this time I'm not trying to get a copyright strike, so I'm going to avoid music for today. Well, not for today, but for this live stream. Maybe I'll play music later tonight. So. Architects is the band, Goliath is the song. Groovy. I keep that in mind. Architect is the band, Goliath is the song. Oh shit, okay. That reminds me. I was gonna. Yeah, it reminds me of Great Chayo's video, Goliath, which reminds me of the Ephelis, which reminds me of the Menem video that I was gonna originally watch. Which is what we're gonna do. Let's pause music.
Edition of what the fuck
What
happenings
the
here
fuck?
in Mendham and such.
Oh,
So first, this
that's what's
little
happening here.
announcement sort of thing. So on the website, donotgod.com, on the homepage, there is a little search function I have added, provided by Indite Evolution. Very nice person, really. Anyway, it's really clever in the sense that it will basically search the transcripts of all the videos that have transcripts on YouTube. And so you can do keyword or phrase searches,
That's actually really
and
cool.
it will provide you a list of the videos. So I will hit the button, and there it is. And it nicely gives you a bit of context for the word. And so it's really sort of interesting. You can search And as long as the transcript spells the word right, I guess you'll find it. Um, and it's pretty cool. And so I just want to make that known that that is available. I'll be adding other channels. So if you have some suggestion about channels worthy of indexing, so far I have the Inventum channel, Draft Science, and Walter Lewin. But yes, others will be added. And
Walter Lewin? Who's
just
that?
kind of a nice feature and such. I'm the only one who has it.
Does anybody know who that
And
Walter dude is?
so, pretty cool. But yes, the website needs other work, and I hope to be doing some of that soon. Now, I guess I'll just reload this page so I don't have to fix it. Anyway, for the purpose of the actual video. So I I'm also going to work on the FList website. So while I was there, I did I played Amanda's movie once again, and it's just so impressive. So I played the video and did a video on the video, on the movie, which I had done in the past, but it's time. It's way past time to do that again. Probably should be a birthday for the movie every year or something, just to re-recognize what a brilliant piece of art and philosophy it is. And so, just saying, really is an incredible piece of work and deserves tribute. And so that's what I did. Yeah. All right. So I'm probably talking about the little search thing here. So we'll move a little bit ahead and see what happens. Probably have to turn the volume down a little here. Probably. See. To be ready to play, and I probably have to fix the volume of us. Yeah, see? Brilliant.
Understandable. I mean, I like
We'll
when people
probably have
talk a
to
little
fix
bit because it allows me to engage,
So,
or like at
both
least
videos, I
shows
had to
people are
fix the
listening.
volume.
But
Anyway, moving ahead.
to each their
Feeling
own.
bad is worth it. But if it's not going to stop them from doing
I like
bad
to interact
things,
with audience,
then
with
they're
the
feeling. All right, so that was
audience,
a
or
little bit of
with
a
the
complex
content
point, but
creator. But
all you
that's
have to do
just
is
me.
get a little bit complicated, and people lose all sense of reason, right? So if I say the word, it's like we're reincarnated, in the
No, it's
sense that
fair
a
if you're
person
introverted.
arrives
It's fair.
just out of nowhere. You arrive on Earth in a certain location, and now you have to figure out how to be a human being. And in a sense, it's just kind of a reincarnation of the idea of being a living human. Yes, you aren't reincarnated, but the idea of your life is reincarnated. Yeah, there will be somebody who'll be born in environments or circumstances similar to yours. They'll have adventures in life that'll be similar to yours. They'll learn similar lessons. And in fact, their life will be similar to yours. That's a kind of reincarnation.
Hmm.
Oh, too complicated. All right, that wasn't what I was talking about, though. I was talking about a more subtle argument about the idea that, yes, it's okay to punish people,
No,
it's
that's
okay
fair.
to cause pain if the pain will stop
Yeah, don't
somebody
let
else
people
or
make you do
them
things you don't
from
want to
causing
do,
pain to
so
somebody
long
else. So if you
as
can prevent
it's
pain
not
by
ethical
imposing
reason
pain,
behind it.
then it makes sense. If you kill one person to save 10, it's just a logical equation, that kind of thing. If you can impose one cancer to prevent 10 cancers, it's just logic. And so, yeah, punishing people makes sense, even though you are causing harm, which is bad, but you're preventing a bigger bad, which is somebody else thinking they'll get away with it. Yeah, not that good. It's a little tiny, subtle idea, the difference between punishing people and creating deterrence and stopping future crime. Not very complicated, but just shoots over most people's heads, and that's really a problem. Damn. And how important it is to prevent it and stop it and not let it happen again. But I can't, and I don't. So all I can do is understand. So I was pointing out how, yeah, I don't feel other people's pain, so it can't motivate me directly. It can't motivate me like my
Oh
feelings
yeah, I've talked to
so my
Christians
pain
all the time
motivates
about
me. Their
Ephilism. I
pain
go to
can't
the
motivate me in
farmers
the same way.
market.
I have to.
I go to Planned Parenthood, and there you have, and I counter protest the pro-lifers that walk outside every once in a while. It always leads to bullshit. It's always hope, love, free will. The same three. It's always, you don't understand, Brant. God's not evil. You see, the world's truly beautiful place. It's just human free will is what causes all this horrible stuff to occur. In fact, without us, it would be a beautiful place free of any evil. So life is beautiful, Brant. It's just human sin that taints the world. But paradise and hope of paradise, that is everlasting, and all the things that happen here on this earth, all worth it. Just fuck the asymmetry argument. Fuck the unnecessary fact that you're not depriving anybody of heaven or earth by not bringing them here. Fuck all of that. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if your arguments are logical. Doesn't matter if your arguments are consistent. Fuck it. Hope and love. I love my child and I would never do anything to harm them. And you saying that I'm harming my child unnecessarily is, I'm personally offended by that. I'm a loving person, a child of a loving God, and I am fulfilling his commandments of love. Because in Genesis it says, be fruitful and multiply. Be fruitful and multiply. So yeah, I know the Christian arguments. They're dumb. They're everywhere. I've had them. They don't go anywhere. They just rot your fucking brain cells. They just fucking rot the brain cells, man. Yeah, and they also say that. Yeah, they have that line too. The fucking let everybody have their opinion. Aren't isn't Can't you just let me have faith? Isn't that just not problematic? I know I vote. I know I'm a voter and I vote for Republicans because Republicans are anti-abortion, and so therefore I know my faith consequentially does lead to things that affects other lives. But can't we all just let each other to each their own, Like stop criticizing me. No, I mean everyone, not just Christians. Oh yeah, I mean I guess everybody says that, yeah, not just Christians, yeah, but Christians I think especially say that because they're under like scrutiny when I'm talking to them. So I guess like, but yeah, everybody says that. It's not just Christians. Everybody says that. I mean, atheists say that as well. Muslims say that, yeah. Everybody just has this like subjectivist woo-wah thing going on where it's just like, yeah, live and let live, that horse shit. Yeah, live and let live. It's funny because they say live and let live, yet they don't realize that like in order for ourselves to live, we have to take the lives of other things. It's required to steal energy to sustain ourselves. So the saying "live and let live," I mean, that's what they basically say, right? I mean, they're just like, just do you and I do me, live and let live. But they don't recognize that in order for them to live, they have to kill. They're not letting live. They are simply living and letting things die in order for themselves to live. So people are all hypocrites, man. Live and let live while they kill things to sustain themselves, and they're just like, they're just like, I don't fucking know. There's Everybody has their own opinion. It's like to each their own. I think this, you think that. It's just an opinion. But then when it comes to murder or like rape or whatever, like pedophilia, bestiality, incest, like name the taboo, that's horrible. I agree. Most of those things I just listed there are horrible. Maybe like incest is like debatable in terms of like ethics. I mean, I wouldn't do it myself, but I mean, like certain things I listed are just taboo and not necessarily wrong in themselves. But I mean, when it comes down to it, name the taboo. The reason it's wrong is because of pain and stuff. Like it's just like live and let live. It stops there. You know, it stops when it comes to unnecessary suffering. Like people won't say live and let live about a rapist. Like oh yeah, like yeah, sure he raped them and he doesn't feel bad about it though. So maybe she should just get over it, live and let live. You know, it's just, no, no one does that. No one just goes live and let live to a rapist. But when it comes to a different opinion on like children or veganism, it's like, oh, live and let live. Just I feel this way and you feel that way. Fuck off, people. Hey, you say something vegan, then you're like live and let live, bitch. Then why are you commenting? Yeah, exactly. So, so it's just like I don't know, man. People are just hypocrites through and through, and don't see how they just they don't see the irony in what they do. Like they just and say it's just funny. Oh, somebody found my channel. Nice. Oh, howdy, Trippy. Yeah, we just talk about ethics here, right and wrong actions. Specifically, right now, we're talking about the hypocrisy of people and how they say live and let live. Like, everything's just opinion, to each their own, Like, I think this, you think that, and we're both valid and right, No, it's not like one of us is wrong. It's not like I'm right and you're wrong, or you're right and I'm wrong. We're just both having opinions that different from each other. They just differentiate a little bit, And it's to each their own. Live and let live. It's like it's bullshit. Like there are right and there are wrong answers. There are certain things that manifest harm in the universe unnecessarily, and there's things that manifest pleasure in the universe. There are good and bad things that occur, and there are right and wrong answers. But people just want to be like, no, like get an abortion, don't get an abortion, uh, tax the rich, don't tax the rich, whatever it is, name the situation. They'll say it's just a disagreement. It's just me thinking this and you thinking that. There's no consequences to it, It's just different thoughts, different opinions. The consequences, be damned. Fuck them. Person getting crushed under a train as a result of that because the bridge's structure didn't have enough funding. Just an opinion of where tax dollars should go. The consequences of that girl getting crushed because of the insupportable structure, fuck it. It's just opinion. Everything's opinion. So yeah, I mean, I'm just talking to shit. We're just having a little bit of a rant right now about the nature of human stupidity of how everything's just woo wow opinion to everybody. It's just nonsense. But yeah, he dipped out already, I think. So I don't know. They're still here. Sounds interesting. Cool. Glad so. But yeah, we usually talk about dietary ethics and stuff like that, like what we should consume. Like I advocate for scrapitarianism, which is my term for like a plant-based diet, so like veganism, but I also encourage people to hunt and fish because in the wild things are going to die pretty brutal deaths no matter what. Predators, diseases, parasites, the elements. It's not going to be fun. You're going to die really horrible if you're a wild animal. It's not going to be pretty. So I advocate people basically hunt and fish for their protein sources as well as plant-based proteins. But um, because yeah, you're basically shortening the suffering of the wild animals, and you're preventing them from reproducing. Hopefully, if they take their life before they get to like the point of like reproducing, which means you're preventing entire generations of animals from coming into existence to live their little puppeted lives on the biological strings, really just fucking tear each other apart just for no reason. They don't have a reason. They just do it. And they just live off of instinct, tearing each other apart. So, as moral agents, I think we should kind of step in and do something about that. And I think hunting is a good way to provide ourselves with nutrients and at the same time prevent suffering. Of course, there's other ways we should do things of preventing wildlife suffering, such as genetic engineering. We can genetically engineer things out of existence. We can, there's different methods of infertility we can spread around and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, for the most part, I think a really solid solution to the issue of wildlife suffering and the issue of needing to feed mouths around the world is to encourage hunting and fishing. So yeah, it's a more I think it's a more nuanced view than a lot of vegans have. A lot of vegans are just like, "Oh, we want to prevent animal suffering. Therefore, don't buy factory farm stuff." The end. While completely ignoring the fact that like a majority is suffering on the earth. Trillions of quadrillions of animals suffering every moment, and it's all taking place in your backyard and like right in front of you. Like you can just look outside and see a bird like chasing an insect. That insect's fleeing for its very survival, and it's gonna have its little limbs ripped off and chomped and crushed under a beak. So it's just like all you need to do is look into your backyard and you'll see struggle. So that's just like the vegans ignore the fact that like you can stop the struggle. You as a moral agent, you can put an end to this struggle. But people want to stop it where it's convenient for themselves. They want to stop at inaction. They want to think, oh, so long as I'm not the one who does so long as I'm not the one doing the cruelty, it doesn't matter, right? It's like if I'm not the one pulling the trolley lever, it doesn't matter. It's like no, it's inaction is action. So oh, why do you have the reason of crushing bugs? Okay, that's an interesting one. Okay, so same reason for suffering. Here's the thing. I'm a pro mortalist, so yeah, it is kind of about suffering, but I was tricked into it. Originally, there was a dude who told me there was a TikTok challenge for the Men in Black film to crush insects, like the guy crushed the cockroach or whatever in the first film. And they were like, "Yo, it's a TikTok challenge, bro. Please hop on this TikTok challenge." And so I was just like, "Well, I'm a pro mortalist. I believe death is a good thing for the one who dies. So, in order to boost my challenge, it would be beneficial to participate in a TikTok challenge after all, and it would be beneficial for the bugs to get crushed. So, it's a win-win, right? I get to do a TikTok challenge and have a little fun, and I get to prevent bugs from suffering and reproducing. It's a win-win-win. Wow, what a great thing. And then it turns out, no, it wasn't a TikTok challenge. It was a fetish community. There's a bunch of people out there that want to imagine themselves being bugs getting crushed underneath people's feet, specifically men's feet for some reason. Uh, so yeah, it turns out that I'm just entertaining a fetish community, but hey, they could have told me that up front, and I probably would have did it anyways. I would have been like, "Fuck, if you want me to like provide you a supply, and there's a demand, and you're willing to watch my channel about ethics, just for me to occasionally crush a bug opportunistically whenever one happens to be in front of me, sure, go for it. That was unexpected. Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, I didn't expect it either. But yeah, it turns out, yeah, I'm basically just crushing bugs to get random dudes in their like 20s, 30s, 40s off because they want to see feet and they want to imagine themselves being crushed underneath feet. So, hey, I mean, I guess I'm providing people with a nut and getting myself views and also, I guess, providing ethical lens to a bunch of coomers. So, hey man, I consider it a win-win-win-win, but it's a funny story. It's a hilarious story and of how I end up crushing bugs online. Uh, just trickery that turns out to me just not giving a damn. And I'm like, "Ah, okay, sure, I guess I can do this. Like, fine. I mean, if you guys want me to crush bugs, I'll crush bugs for you. Fuck it, whatever." But yeah, that's a wild story. My he was about to eat some spaghetti and saw raw. Damn, you got the raw spaghetti. That sucks, bro. I mean, as long as it's not moldy, you can get right in there. We'll get that sloppy spagoot. They call it the spagoot when it's all raw. Just kidding, I don't know, but spagoot sounds. So you have a TikTok? No, I don't have a TikTok, but uh, I assume that like how like they upload like TikToks to YouTube for some reason. I was just assuming that like that's what that person was going to do, or that like that would be transferred into like a YouTube short or whatever, and my challenge would just go on TikTok. So I was like, whatever, whatever gets me the views. But I don't have a TikTok actually. I out of principle I refuse to get a TikTok. It's weird. It's a weird app full of teens and shit, and I'm just like, I don't like their humor. I don't like the vibe. The vibe check is off, and it's just creepy and weird. Like I don't know, too many teenagers doing dumb dances, lip syncing to things, and it's just like, what's the purpose of this? It's just creepy and weird. So, but that's just my opinion. To each their own. If you like TikTok, enjoy yourselves. I'm not judging you.
First philosophically understand its existence, and then I have to emotionally allow it to sink in. What if it was me? What if it's me? What if it was me? I have to really force myself to feel their pain, and I still can't do it.
I mean, it's not like this thing is creepy was unexpected. I mean, I guess strange is a better word. I mean, I suppose it's just like the supply and demand thing because I recognize like supply and demand. It's just like the fact that there's a demand for a bunch of random teenagers lip syncing and like skimpy diva fucking clothing covered in head to toe in fucking makeup, looking like some anime girl. It's just weird to me. It's just weird. It's just like where is this demand coming from? Like who is the person demanding this? Like what is this? Like it's weird. It's creepy. I don't know. I can understand the appeal like from an evolutionary standpoint, but at the same time I just kind of like it's weird. So, I don't know. Like, it's just one of those things where it's just like, I don't want to be part of the support unit of a bunch of teenage girls being a bunch of e-thoughts for a living. I don't know. I don't want to support the e-thoughtery guys. The e-thoughtery has gone too far. You gotta be inclusive. No, no, I refuse to be inclusive. The e-thoughtery has gone too far. My transhuman, I cannot support the e-thoughtery. It's just as Mendham just said right here, it's like imagine if that was your daughter. Imagine if that was your daughter just lip syncing in like a fucking mini skirt to some swap or some shit as a bunch of fucking dudes in like their mid 20s and 30s like watch like your daughter lip sync WAP in a fucking skimpy ass outfit. No, that's not Gucci. That's not cool. If I had a daughter, I would not want them lip syncing WAP in a skimpy ass outfit. So, just because of that principle alone, I'm not gonna support them doing that type of stuff. Like, I wouldn't want my children doing that. Not that I ever will have children, but I wouldn't want my daughter doing that if I had a daughter. So I'm not gonna basically give my views to them doing that. I mean, and you might say it's hypocritical because like I watch porn, I jerk off, but like I don't know. It just seems different. Like everybody needs to bust a nut at some point, but it just seems weird to be, I don't know, objectifying youth in like such a weird way. But I don't know. That's just my perspective. I don't know. It just seems weird to me. Perhaps it's hypocritical because like I do jerk off the porn, so it's like, oh, you're encouraging women who are in their 20s to get into the porn industry. You're technically creating a demand for porn. So, like, if you're watching porn, that means you're encouraging people to be in sex work or whatever. So like, what's the difference? Isn't that worse than being a TikTok e-thought? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. At least if you're a sex worker, you're getting paid good fucking money you're getting paid good money and like fulfilling an actual like demand that's existed for thousands of years. E-thottery just seems like such disrespectful. Like I wouldn't. I don't know. Then again, I have an OnlyFans, so who knows? I'm technically a sex worker, I guess. I have an OnlyFans. I mean, I'm not really a worker, I guess, because it's free. I mean, it's not like working would imply that I'm charging people to see my nudes, but I'm not. I'm just doing it for free. I won't tell you guys my channel, by the way. I won't tell you my OnlyFans. I refuse to. You can just wonder what it is. But like when the sun comes down to it, like I don't fucking know. Like I haven't really thought about this too much. I guess I haven't really. I guess since TikTok came out when I was like in high school, and so basically I've always had like the principle since I was in high school to not use TikTok because I was just like, yeah, it's creepy, it's weird. And so I'd never really thought about it since high school. It's been a while since I thought about like using TikTok. Maybe I should. I mean, I suppose I could have an audience on TikTok. I mean, I'm sure it's kind of like Vine, right? So it's like short clips or whatever. Or like it's kind of like YouTube shorts. I don't sound like a fucking boomer. Imperial Realm, we're watching Kawaii Happy Times of Gary, a huge anime eyes. Yeah, man. In fucking like Imperial Universe, Gary has a TikTok and he's just like a femboy talking about like antinatalism while being Kawaii Desu. Damn, those platforms are so old we don't even realize it. Yeah, I know, right? Like TikTok's really just like a copy of Vine, I think. And I never got into Vine. Like when I was in middle school, like everybody liked Vine, and I remember people being like, "Vine's all the rage." Like I'm making Vines, and I'm like, "Vines are hilarious." I started watching Vines a little bit, like when I was in high school, when Vine was already dead. Because I'm a so old school person, I was just kind of catching up. I was just like, yeah, these are kind of funny. But I never really got into Vine, never really got into TikTok, obviously. But I don't know, perhaps it would be beneficial to make a TikTok and like another channel, like ApostleO'Ultron or something on there. But no, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I haven't really thought about the ethics of making a TikTok. I'd probably just make it for like making content because I wouldn't really browse. There's not much to browse. I mean, there can't be that much philosophy on TikTok, is there, guys? You all have TikTok, do you? Is there philosophy on TikTok? I see dumb history memes every once in a while on YouTube Shorts. So, like, if there's history, maybe there's philosophy. Surely there's philosophy. Probably not good philosophy, but there's probably philosophy. Can imagine a permanent family makes it even more strange. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it's just like I don't know. Yeah, I guess the reason I never got into TikTok was because in high school it was just like that like stigma of like people that use TikTok are like immature and that like the only people that use TikTok are like immature people and like pedophiles or whatever. So I was just kind of like I'm not immature and I'm not a pedophile, so I'm not using TikTok. So perhaps nowadays, now that I have like a more nuanced view on things and I don't care about just having a view of like being like, oh, I'm a mature man, I dress in black and white and grays and neutral colors and cream colors and all these like things that I did in high school where I was like all preppy and shit. Uh, yeah, I guess now that I don't give a shit about my image, I could maybe make a TikTok. Yeah. I'll consider it. I'll consider it. I'll consider making a TikTok. I just don't know what I'd have to make like I'd have to upload like somewhat like frequently, and I have to like think of like things to actually do because it's like short quippy content, and I'm not really about that. I suppose I could just do like really short like definitional videos on antinatalism and promortalism and like quick analogies and stuff like that. Hmm. The Amanda Vine Zvine is confusing. I'm confused also. Who's that? You can make the Man in Black TikTok trend an actual TikTok trend. Yeah, you're right. I can make bug crushing an actual TikTok trend. Get the bug crushing fetish community would have a world with that, my friend. They would praise me as a fucking savior if I convinced a bunch of men and women to crush bugs as a TikTok challenge. They would praise me as a hero. I would go down as a legend. She was the actress of Sam Pocket and iCarly. Oh, the blonde hair girl. Yeah, okay, I remember her. Yeah. When I was a kid, I thought I liked Sam's personality because she was like the tomboy or whatever. And I thought Carly was more attractive or whatever when I was a kid. Yeah, I watched iCarly as a kid. I was cringe, y'all. I watched iCarly as a kid and I wanted to be a streamer. Just a wee bit. Now here we are. I am a streamer. So thank you, iCarly. Very inspiring. Very cool. Actress of Sam Pocket. I didn't realize that the last name of that character was Pocket. That's such a fucking weird name. Who the hell names one of their fictional characters Pocket? Yeah, they're the whole generation of pocket fuckers. These people just fucked and their last name is Pocket. They're just popping them out for generations. Mr. and Mrs. Pocket. Do you think if you're like a man in a relationship and your wife's name is Mrs. Pocket, you just call her Pocket Pussy? I'm just joking. I'm joking. If I would not refer to my wife as a pocket pussy if her last name was Pocket, that would be really rude, and I would never do that. I would do that only. I would do that. It would be just my mind though. Fulfilling their function. No, my god, that was so dark. Okay, no, okay, no, I'm just joking. I'm joking. Okay, all feminists out there, that was a joke. I'm so sorry. It was just a joke, I swear. She was actually called Vines, and I called her Vines. She was actually called Vines, and I called her Vines, but she was so fine. Can't rap, but okay, I could try though. Who is live right now? The room is no longer available. Oh, okay. Fucking whatever. Someone was live on chat house, and I was like, oh shit, maybe I can go dive on in there and have a chit chat with my good folks. But no, I guess not. Which Amanda are you talking about? Amanda Suknik? No, I think Trippy is talking about a different Amanda. Just some Amanda on TikTok, I guess. I don't think he knows who Amanda Suknik is. I think Trippy is not an antinatalist. It's just a person that stumbled across the channel. Trippy, are you an antinatalist or an ethicist? I mean, I don't think you are. I think you just kind of stumbled across this channel, right? So you don't know who Amanda Suknik is, I don't think. The actress of Sam, okay. I don't know the actress's name, and I don't think my transhuman role knows either. But he's talking about the actress for Sam Pocket from iCarly. I guess her name is Amanda something. But oh, I already found out about Amanda Suknik. Oh, cool, awesome. But yeah, Amanda Suknik is one of the founders of the Antinatalism podcast, which is a podcast that basically just discusses antinatalism, She does a lot of artwork for antinatalism. She's more into art and like sponsoring the message rather than, I guess, the philosophical arguments and stuff. But yeah, I mean, Amanda's a good resource for antinatalism stuff. She's an Nephalist, I think, as well. I'm not sure if she's a Nephalist, actually. Nothing about it. I mean, I think she's still a Nephalist. She was at one point. I think she still is. I'm not sure if she's a negative utilitarian. I'm a negative utilitarian slash painist. But I think Amanda's might be more deontological a little bit. I'm not entirely sure. I wouldn't want to put that words in her mouth because it's very possible she's a consequentialist. I just haven't really checked up on. I haven't really checked Amanda's videos in a while. I don't really. Does anybody know if Amanda's a consequentialist or a deontologist or like what Amanda's like philosophical views? Like obviously she's an antinatalist. Like she's against procreation of children and animals. Like she's vegan and stuff. But I'm wondering like is she like consequentially like is the reason she's an antinatalist because of consequential reasons, or is it more just like she has principles that she follows? I don't really know. It's been a while. In the past, it sounded like she was more of a consequentialist, but I don't fucking know. She said she would press the button even if it wouldn't be peaceful exit. Okay, cool, Sam. So she's a consequentialist. So awesome. Me and Amanda are in agreement then. If I push the button, that basically just means if there was like a red button in front of you and you could push it and it would just blip all life out of existence, like instantaneously, no pain felt, would you do so? You'd be imposing on other people, obviously. Most people want to live. But just as someone's in an abusive relationship, they want to be in a relationship. They don't recognize it as such. I'd say it would be ethical to push a button to end that relationship. Similarly, I think it's the same with life. Life is inherently a negative, and people have a toxic relationship with life where they are addicted to it. They don't realize it's negative, but it is. And if you could push a button to just boop, blip all life out of existence, I think you would have an ethical obligation to do so. Now, even if that button caused like everybody on the planet to be in intense agony for like a couple seconds, or like like a couple weeks, I'd still push that button because it would prevent like thousands of years of evolutionary suffering for like continued on. So I'm a consequentialist, so I basically accept that like you have to crack a egg to make an omelet, so to speak. So basically, I believe that like you have to basically be willing to cause a little bit of pain, a little bit of suffering, a little bit of struggle, a little bit of imposition. You have to do imposition to do good, essentially. Like, no one wants to hear the message of antinatalism. It's depressing. You're imposing the message upon someone. You're imposing a bad mood upon someone in order to spread the message, so to speak. So, imposition can't be what's wrong. Can't be consent because people bring their children to the doctors for their benefit and stuff. So, it can't be consent. It can't be desires. People know that, like, desires are illogical at times and stuff. Someone pressed the COVID button. Yeah, man. Someone pressed the COVID button. Praise be. I'm gonna go smoke for a moment. So let's do this. That. I don't think she dedicates herself to a certain philosophy. You say? Okay, I mean that's kind of a good thing to do from an intellectual perspective, I suppose. Though I think having a baseline for your ethics is personally, I think it's good and necessary to have a baseline for your ethics. It just makes sense. Like, I don't know why someone. Howdy. No, I wasn't talking to you. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. For me, it makes sense to have like a baseline for your ethics, like pain being bad or pleasure being good, or something for like why you believe what you believe. I mean, it's good to be like open to different ideas, but if the chainsaw is too loud in the background, let me know. And they go, she's mean and friendly of everybody. Yeah, no, right. It's just like she's really friendly of everybody, but I feel like it has to be like a consequential tool because like there's no way that like she can be that kosher with everybody. You know what I mean? Like you have to be. Like I can't even be kosher with like Anton. Like Anton's subjectivist, he pisses me off. Like honestly, I have mad respect for a man if we to have those conversations that she completely disagree with. I think so. Big balls. I mean, I can, but as soon as they think of his stance, it just pisses me off. Yeah, same. I mean, like, I can put on like I can be kosher probably for a while. Like, if I was in a conversation with him, I could be cool for a bit. I think I could be cool and hold a conversation with him. If I really wanted to, I could be completely cool. I would not get angry, visually speaking. But I don't know. It just seems like if I wanted to have like a completely honest intellectual conversation with someone, I couldn't just like sit there and just listen to someone be like, yeah, man, it's just subjective or like it's an amoral universe and just like listen to that and be like not start giving them analogies that are like visceral and ugly, but like necessary to give. Like I don't know. This seems like it would be like I couldn't just like stand there and just be like, oh yeah, man, that's an interesting perspective. Why do you think that? You know, I would be like, no, like that's fucked up. Like, think of this person going through this X, Y, Z, and tell me that that doesn't have fucking value. Like, I don't know. Like, I respect her for being able to do it, to have being able to hold the conversations, but I just can't see myself being able to host a conversation without getting pissed off at somebody like Anton.
You be able to drive with me? Give me 1 second.
Where?
Over by a belt.
Look at that chair.
Yeah, there at least.
I don't really want to, but again. What? So I'm going with you? Okay.
Like, so there's no chairs or anything. It's good.
Dave, does my mom know I smoke? I mean, she's right here, so I'd assume she knows I smoke. Unless she's secretly blind and deaf. I mean, it's possible. Sometimes it seems that way. I'm just joking. Because if I saw my son doing that, I would flip out. Nah, bro, this is legal. Helps with my stress. Truly, it's just me doing God's work. There we go, back at it again. But yeah, it'd be honestly rather take a look at these people looking at chips and try to convince them. Yeah, man, pretty much. Pretty fucking much. I'm gonna go be right back and ask my mom because she wants me to. Sunday's a very depressing day. Sundays are a very depressing day. Why? How is that? Why so? I mean, I don't disagree. I mean, I think every day is a depressing day, but I mean, Sundays aren't exactly the most happy of days. It's right before Monday, before going back to work. But yeah, I'm gonna have to go here in a little bit. Mom wants me to help her move a chair. So PTSD from work and school. Gotcha. Well, I don't know what country you're from, my dude, but sorry to hear that. Hope the chaos dies down a little bit for you. Tell mom Colin will help. No, Colin is on campus. He won't help at all. So really, she should get her husband to help, but he's doing yard work, and so I'm an able-bodied man, so it's my obligation to help out or whatever. I mean, not really. If I said no, she would be like, okay, but she'd also like be like, Christine remembers that, like those little dialogue things pop up in the corner of a video game. And it's just like character will remember that. It's like you're allowed to technically do any option, like the it's not impossible. You can choose to say no, but Christine will remember that. So But anyways, I'm gonna end the stream, and I'll be back in like I imagine an hour, maybe a little bit more than that, but imagine hour, 2 hours. I'll be back. So